What is up, guys? What is going on? Welcome to another episode of the Broken Scotty, and welcome to another garage vlog or garage mode vlog rant, to be honest. So I've unfortunately not been on the bike for a little bit just because I've had a horrible chest infection. So this bike has just been sitting where it has, and obviously it's been sitting right beside its best little friend. But that got me thinking, actually, about the reliability of Aprilias in general. So Aprilia, as we all know, they probably have the worst, as a company, I guess, it has the worst reputation for being an extremely unreliable bike. And it really does show, because I'll give you an example. This bike, the RS, I think I bought it about 10 years ago or 8 years ago for around maybe 6k Oz AUD. This bike is significantly cheaper, and by significantly I mean significantly. I think it's probably 1/6 of the price of the RS. Now, think about this. Beautiful Italian design. You know that they've put a lot of work into the engineering of it. It comes from a long pedigree of other Aprilia RS 125s. So in general, they should have worked out most of the kinks of this bike. However, so I'll show you, that's one side. Now this bike is, it's till today, if you can have a guess of what it is. There is no branding on it. I think the manufacturer of this bike was so ashamed that they made this bike that they refused to put any branding on this bike whatsoever. Legitimately, there is no branding anywhere of this motorcycle. And for most of the part, I think it's because a lot of this bike is just bits of other bikes sort of pushed together to make a bike. Now, so think about that. Well engineered, comes from a long pedigree, slapped together with some spanners and make it work, all right? Now, with the RS, I've had issues with the brakes, the front brakes. I've had the clutch master cylinder has gone. I've had a battery fail. The indicator wiring was all fucked up. Something went wrong with the wiring. I've had a lot of issues with that bike. Sometimes it just doesn't start. I will sit there for hours and hours cranking, and it just refuses to start. That's just a standard ownership of the RS. So I will wake up, I'll say, hey, let's go for a ride, and it doesn't work. Hopefully now with the lithium battery, that should have solved all the problems. But even on a cold day, that bike just refuses to start. Now, this bike, engine unknown. I believe the engine is from an old Suzuki, but I actually don't know what that engine actually is. It is an old school classic. If I can show you the side of it. So it actually has a beautiful little kickstart, and that works all the time. And what I'm struggling to reconcile with is the fact that this is a premium, I guess, learner bike, and they've spent a lot of time and effort into this motorcycle, but they seem to have forgotten the reliability aspect of it. This bike, on the other hand, is quite literally slapped together, in my opinion. The battery, I think, is just there. The engine's pretty naked. It's air cooled. There's really nothing to this motorcycle. I've slapped on a nice little fat exhaust that is not really designed for the bike, but you can just slap something on. And guess what? I can wholeheartedly say that this bike is far more reliable than the RS. And to the point where I almost say I rather prefer getting on this bike, because I'm 100% certain that this bike will work, especially if I need to get somewhere. Whereas the RS, it's always a hit and miss. On a beautiful hot day like this, sure, it will work. But as winter comes, I tend to sort of move away from that into this thing as well. So, but what do you guys think? Do you think Aprilia need to really... do you guys have any experiences first with the RS, whether they're reliable or unreliable? So far, I know I've got my issues with it, but obviously I've owned this bike for 8 years, and that's all the issues I've had with it. The main thing for me, obviously, is starting it when it needs to, or it coughing, or it just may not be running to its optimum, and maybe that's because I like the bike to run perfectly well. But what other issues have you guys had with Aprilias in general? Have you just had it with mainly the RS, or as you know, as the stigma goes, you know, I've heard people buying brand new 209s and RSVs, and they're sort of having the similar issue. And on the other hand, what do you guys think about bikes such as these? They are bikes that I believe manufacturers use other motorcycle parts. They slap them together, and to be honest, I still think they work pretty well. Now, there is obviously a little bit of rust and issues forming that the RS doesn't have, such as, you know, you've got a bit of rust on its on the handlebars, but you know, the forks, I don't know if you guys can see it, the forks are starting to go ever so slightly, while as the RS on the whole, apart from me damaging it and doing a little bit of a messing up, see the RS got a couple of bit of rust on it, but on the whole, what do you guys think? Aprilia reliable bike, or do most Aprilia owners like myself sort of have two motorcycles just in case your Aprilia doesn't work? Let me know in the comments, and if you like what I'm doing, feel free to hit that like and subscribe. Put a comment down, discuss. I like having conversations, and hopefully I can start putting out some more videos as well as I get a little bit better. All right. But that being said, guys, I will see you guys in the next video. Enjoy.